Welcome to You Can Do It Too, the podcast highlighting regular folks who followed their dreams and made it happen. I'm Joan Hutchinson, your restaurant maven. I'm a former caterer and restaurateur turned hospitality business consultant and public speaker. I started this podcast because I've met a lot of young people in their 20s and 30s who were very successful. When I talked with them about their businesses, I was so inspired. It's not that obstacles didn't pop up for them, it's just that they didn't see them as a problem, which is a huge part of why and how they overcame those problems. It was their mindset. I was so inspired by them, and I realized I could really use some regular inspiration to keep working on my dreams. I figured I wasn't alone. It's just so important that all of us realize we all have it in us to succeed. So You Can Do It Too was born. I've since interviewed many folks, both young and more experienced in life. We drop new episodes every other Sunday. Hey, if you enjoy a specific episode, please rate it. I'd love it if you could give us a 5-star review and share it with someone you think could benefit. I am so glad you're here, so let's get started. If you're an expert in your field, have a unique story to tell, or an interesting point of view, it's time to explore the world of podcasting with Kitcaster, a podcast booking agency. You can expect a completely customized concierge service from their staff of communication experts. Kitcaster is your secret weapon in podcasting for business. Your audience is waiting to hear from you. Go to kitcaster.com/maven to apply for a special offer for friends of this podcast. Hello and welcome to You Can Do It Too. I'm Joan Hutchinson, your restaurant maven. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today, I wanted to talk a little more about branding. Last time we talked with Brianna Schrader from Shy Heart Studios, and I had some really good takeaways from that conversation. And so I wanted to go a little bit deeper with branding. So when we talked with Brianna, she said, you are your brand. She said that some of her clients told her, no, my book is my brand or my store is my brand. It's not me. It's the clothing I design. And she has to bring them back to the idea that you are your brand. So people buy from people, and people buy from people that they like, right? Kyle Deeney, who literally wrote the book on influence, says people are more likely to comply with requests when they are made by someone we like or trust. So entrepreneurs, listen up, because Brianna knows what she's talking about. People will buy from you if they feel like they know you, when they feel like they have something in common with you or have similar values. Many of us feel shy or uncomfortable sharing about ourselves. I think we're worried about what others might think of us, what they might think of the choices we made in the clothes we wear, or our haircut or color, or the car we drive. And that's what holds us back from letting ourselves be ourselves with others. Eleanor Roosevelt said it best when she said, you wouldn't worry so much about what others think of you if you realized how seldom they do. People have their own stuff to worry about, really. Very few folks are judging you. And those that are, who needs them? Why would you worry about what someone else thinks about your choices? The people that find you interesting or likable will continue to follow you and hopefully buy one day. In the meantime, you are building your brand, sharing about your product, sharing about you, your likes and dislikes that you can poke fun at and be playful with or be very serious. You're sharing and you're letting people get to know you. So branding, it is about who we are. It's also about what we stand for, what our values are, and our business mission. Now, Brianna talked about how you are your brand, and I want to go a step further with that. And I want to say, yep, you are your brand, and your values are your brand. You must figure out what those values are so that you can create an environment that fulfills that. Those values, your mission. You want to create an environment for your customers and your employees. So you need employees that align with those values. You don't want to be partners with someone who doesn't value what you value. So when you're interviewing folks, you must remember what your values are, what your mission is, the kind of environment that you want to create. You need to craft questions that give you insight into whether or not this candidate has the qualities that align with those values so that they have the personality that can bring that mission to life. Share what your values are and what your goals are. Open up and tell them a bit about you. It's only fair. You're asking about them, right? Often we're desperate for help, and especially in the restaurant business, and we want to hire the first person that walks in the door. Hey, they want to work here or they wouldn't have walked in, right? But you just can't do that. You need true team members that embrace what you want to do. They should want to help you bring your vision and mission to the world. You want employees that will treat your customers the way you would. And the only way to do that is to make sure they align with your values. What goes along with that is a sense of belonging. Back to that you are your brand thing. What makes someone feel like they belong? When they feel accepted, included, and like they're an important member of your team. What can you do to make your employees feel like they belong and feel appreciated? I had a boss that would give us a card now and again telling us something we did that she thought was great. She was encouraging and made us feel special. Respecting the employee enough to listen when they have a question. I mean, really listen. Put down what you're working on and focus on them with your full attention. Posting a schedule with enough notice so the team can actually plan their lives. In restaurants, that's a big deal. I have worked in places that didn't put the schedule up until the day before it started. Come on. We can do better than that. What makes an employee want to stay? It's not always about money. It's these things that make people want to work for and with you. Creating this kind of environment is so important. There have been studies that show that employees that feel they belong are 42% more productive than those that don't. That's huge. It's definitely worth it to make the effort to help your employees feel like a team. We need to build that connection with our team, as well as our customers. We need to open up with employees and followers. Let them know we're dog lovers, or me. I'm a cat lover who makes an appearance now and again in the background. Allow these people to feel that connection. And we aren't just sharing with the business. We're not just sharing to get their business. We're sharing to create an environment that's welcoming, that helps people feel a connection to us, not just our customers, but our employees too. That's the biggest message I took from my talk with Brianna. She was talking about how connection is so important for marketing. I just took that not just for marketing. It's so very important in business and in life. People that are lonely that don't feel connected to anyone get depressed. We need to have connections. I'm reading a book called Younger Next Year, and it talks a lot about your health after you retire and how you need to be physically active to remain in good health, but not just good physical health, but mental health. You should volunteer, join a book club or group of some kind because connection is so important to our lives. If we don't feel connected, we aren't going to live long. Okay, so I talk about business and about life. Our values seep into our business. Our personal values do. And isn't that a good thing? I think it's a great thing. Let's all focus on what's true to us. What are our values? What is it that we want to present to the world? Who are we? And who do we want to be? Let's start being it. Let's start being that good neighbor. Let's start really living who we are in every way so we can make great connections in business and in life and have wonderful, fulfilling, happy lives. That should be our goal. So I guess that's my tangent for this episode. Let me know your thoughts about belonging and sharing who you really are and how that connects to your values. I'd love to hear your stories. And if you or someone you know needs a little help with their restaurant, be sure to go to yourrestaurantmaven.com and connect with me. I'd love to help. Thanks so much for listening. And thanks to Chris Hutchinson for editing this and all my podcasts. Make sure you follow and subscribe so you can be notified when a new episode drops. We'll see you next time.